Welcome to Remarkable Ideas for Remarkable Change. I'm your host, Tim Nash, and with me today is small business owner Andrew Poole. And Andrew also happens to be a former colleague and a friend from many years ago. Before we go into too many details, first of all, I'd like to say, Andrew, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for inviting me.
And you know, Andrew and I were colleagues for a very short time in, I guess it was the first half of 2001, before I moved to Munich, at a language school in the financial district in San Francisco. And what makes, well, and then we sort of stayed loosely in touch for many years, just social media and things, but we got sort of reconnected recently. But what makes, I think, our relationship interesting to me anyway, is the fact that your story, your journey kind of parallels mine, because you came over to Spain. So you're an expat as well. You came over to Spain shortly after, I think I did, back in 2001, or was it the end of 2001?
Yeah, I came in 2002, September 2002.
Okay, so about a year later, I got here right before September 11th, 2001, so about a year later. And you stayed. So you're in Spain, you're based in Madrid, you had your own physical sort of language school. If we can remember what that was like, a physical language school for 10 years in Madrid. And now you're still in Madrid, but now you've taken your business online, and it goes beyond Spain, it goes all over the world. Anyway, when we got reconnected just a few weeks ago, you shared a few ideas with me, and I thought, well, that would be great to share with our viewer on this series. So Andrew, I'm not sure exactly which of those ideas you're going to share with us today, but tell us your remarkable idea for remarkable change.
So my remarkable idea for remarkable change is that teachers should be radically disempowered, not empowered, but radically disempowered.
I'm curious. Teachers should be disempowered. What makes this idea remarkable?
Well, it's remarkable in that I think 99% of the world would disagree with that statement, I think. But as you said, I've just changed everything. I've gone from having a physical school to being online. And after looking at that new environment, that's the conclusion that I have come to, and it's how I operate now.
So what does that look like? So I'm guessing that you've had this shift in mindset. You know, how have you come to this conclusion?
So as a teacher, I taught in a lot of different environments at universities and multinationals and academies. Mm-hmm. And within each one of those environments, there is kind of an administration or a power structure or a way of doing things, a protocol. And then I went away from all of that, and I went online. And as you can imagine, pretty much everything changes. Mm-hmm. And once one thing starts changing, it sort of precipitates other changes. And pretty soon you've got sort of a tsunami of change. And that's where I'm at right now, is even the word teacher, I'm not sure completely applies, because I've so thoroughly disempowered myself in ways that I think are interesting.
Okay, so give us an example. What's one way you've disempowered yourself as a teacher?
Great. So here's what happens. Right now, the way my life works is that any person in any city from any educational background can find me on the internet, can pay me in any currency, can get a hold of my calendar, book me for any hour, and then poof, they appear on my screen at some point in my day. Could be from Moscow or Hanoi or wherever. And they say to me, hey, what are you going to teach me? What do I need to learn? And I just say to them, whoa, it's not going to work like that. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to my website. You're going to look at, I've got about 150 modules set up there, anything from, from finance to artificial intelligence to pop culture. Mm-hmm. You're going to choose what is the priority for you. You're going to choose what you need to learn. I'm going to send you the packet, and we're going to start there. So I I just tell them, look, I'm not going to start telling you what to do. And often the response is, hey, no, don't worry. I trust you. And I tell them, trust me. I say, you definitely shouldn't trust me because I've known you for a minute, maybe 10 minutes, or maybe a day. And you know way more about you than I know about. You know more about your original language, your culture, your goals. I don't know if in your job, I don't know if you need negotiation skills or diplomacy skills or public speaking skills, or you know, you need to draft emails. I don't really know a lot about you, so you're going to be in charge of that project, and I'm just here to help. So I've sort of deconstructed loads of those sorts of things.
So there's a sort of a shift in responsibility, whereas before the responsibility was with the teacher to plan the curriculum and to motivate the student and to really guide the student. And now the responsibility, you're saying, has gone, you're giving it to the student and saying, what is it you want to learn? What do you want to look at?
Yeah, yeah. And so the benefit of disempowering the teacher is that it allows the student all of this new space. And they aren't, depending on the culture they're coming from. I mean, some people are like, woo, yeah, I'm in control. Some people just love it. And other people, depending on the culture, depending on a lot of factors, for them, it's kind of a new idea. And even when they try to force it back on me, I really make an effort to say, you know, there's really no reason for me. You can still have a very controlled experience doing modules. I mean, the modules come with grammar and vocabulary and pronunciation and discussion, etc. But yeah, it's been you know, a big shift in how I operate to the point where I don't even know if teacher is the word for me anymore.
Interesting. So one last question, you know, if there was another English teacher who had pivoted from doing face-to-face and classroom things into sort of the virtual world, which we're all living and working in right now, what would be your tip for making this shift? Not only the mindset, or it could be a mindset thing, or simply an actual thing that you could do to disempower yourself so that the responsibility goes more to the students.
Yeah, so I would say to that two things. I would say it takes a lot. You've got to build kind of a big infrastructure. Right now on my computer, I can hit a button and basically the student will automatically, you know, receive a lesson about finance or receive a lesson about management. And that's because I've done all of the work to build 150 modules. So that is possible. So I've had to really, I used to work in tech. And so I had to know kind of how I wanted to organize that. But the second thing here would be the results are really not what you would anticipate. Quick anecdote is I was working with this engineer, really bright person, really good language skills, has worked internationally. And so I said to her, I said, hey, go to the website, choose something. And what she chose was the alphabet. She wanted to learn the alphabet. And I said, wow, you're an advanced student, you're very bright, you want to learn the alphabet? And she said, I'm really embarrassed, but I get I and E and J and G and Y and J. Wow. She said, I still get those things horribly confused. And when my clients are spelling things for me, or when they ask me to spell something, it's a scramble, it's a mess. And so I would have never chosen that, never in a million years. I would have never chosen that as a teacher. But now that everything is reversed, then all of a sudden you come up with these, you know, these requests that you absolutely would have never, decisions you would have never made. And I think that's really what the student needs. Wow, that's a great story. Funny, like you said, you never would have thought, you know, this experienced, you know, competent English language speaker never would have gone to the alphabet, and yet that's what she needed most, and that's what she wanted most, and I'm sure she was motivated to dive in. Absolutely. Absolutely. Excellent. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for your time. Your language school is called English Squared. English Squared. So on the URL is english-squared.com. .com, and I'll post that as well for the listener. So thank you for your time, and I wish you a nice rest of the day, and we'll talk again soon. Okay. Well, thank you, Tim. Take care. Bye.